the One by One podcast. I'm your host, Emegano. Most episodes, I sit down with athletes, business owners, other high-level performers. We discuss the standards that help them in competition. I'm joined today with old, I won't say teammate, man, a guy that I've known for a long time, overseas
Yeah,
vet now. You're a vet now.
man, it's crazy.
Stacey
10 years
Davis.
in.
Stacey Davis. What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
10 years?
Yeah, man, 10
You
years. It
sound
went by like
tired, man.
that.
You all right?
I mean, listen, you know how it goes.
Listen, you ain't got to tell me. How you
You
been,
already
man?
know how it
Where
goes.
you at, man? Where you at? What's going on? Talk to us.
Yeah, man, I'm in Italy playing in A2 for Sella Cento. And yeah, like we said before, just 10 years in. It's my 10th year. Feel like it's a milestone for myself.
For sure, bro.
I think all
Wow.
athletes aspire to get to double digits.
What did
And
you coming up, man? What did you? And a quick, just I want a quick little, a little background about you, man. Coming up, what did you think? Did you expect to play this long? What did you think? Did you, you know?
I mean, if I want to be real, man, honestly, my main goal in high school was really just getting an education. Further my education. My mom was very she was on my head about that, and
Yeah.
so understanding that basketball was a vehicle to kind of make that a reality. That's really what I saw for myself. Playing professionally, even this long, wasn't necessarily something I envisioned for myself. Maybe not until my junior year. Obviously, you have dreams of playing at the highest levels. Everybody wants that, but
Yeah.
just being realistic with yourself, I didn't necessarily see it until maybe my third year
Yeah.
in college, and here we are.
Where'd you go to college?
Pepperdine.
That's a big school though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nah, I mean, it's not. It's a great university for
academics.
academics.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
Who?
in terms of hoop, it's not a thing. I mean, we've had some greats. We've had Doug Christie, we've had
Okay.
Dennis Johnson.
Okay.
We've had very, very good teams back in the day, and I
Yeah.
think our the last time we were really, really nice was probably in 2000. And then the years that I were there, we were all right, nothing crazy. But yeah, it's not really known for hoop. It's more of an academic university.
Italy A2, man. This is not your first year there. How many years you been in there?
This is my second. I was here
Consecutive?
last year.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's that been like for you, man? We played against each other in France.
Yes, sir. That was my second year. Yep,
That was
second
eight
year in
years
France.
ago.
8 years, bro. 8 years.
Wow.
I know time's flying, but Italy has
Wow.
been it's been blessed, man. Honestly, this has been the first time that I've returned to the same team and the same league. And with my just, obviously getting older, I think stability and obviously being somewhere that you're comfortable was extremely important to me. And for me, finding a place and honestly an organization that embraced me, sees value in me, you understand,
Yeah.
like, most professionals do. That's really what you want, is just to have, a place, a city, an organization that believes in you as a player, that really likes you. And so for me, at this point in my career, it was kind of no brainer to come back. But just that feeling of comfort really meant a lot for me.
Yeah. As I said, would you are you how are y'all doing right now? Let's talk about that, man. What is it looking like? It's halfway through, like right at half.
Yeah, man, we just started the second round. We
Yeah.
are, I think we might be 13th or 14th. We're probably 9 and 11. We were 7 and 5. Our starting center went down. He's been dealing with some foot issues for probably the past 2 months, and then we went 1 and 6 after that.
Tough.
And then I know we just
Tough.
won this past Sunday, so hopefully we start a new year on the right track, and we'll get him back in hopefully another week or two. But you know, we have the tools to do something to make something of the year rather than it just being just another year over here.
What's the best part about Italy?
The best part, I mean, the food. The food is the best part. But honestly, I really do. I love the food. I love the culture. The people are endearing, especially just in the locker room, and then as well as the coaches. They have a lot of flair, passion for basketball, even though it's not one of the biggest sports. But I will say, for me, the culture and obviously the history, I really do like to go to different cities and see, how they were built, what makes them special, and the history that Italy has in a lot of places is is incredible. So I think that would probably be the best part about it.
What would you consider the best? 10 years. What would you
Yeah,
consider the best country you played in?
best country. Okay, now if we're gonna talk about that, man, that's a nuanced answer.
Okay, why is that?
So if we want to say best country in terms of my experience with basketball,
Okay,
that's completely different than I would say the best
for sure.
country that I've played in because as you know, bro, I mean, we live here.
Yeah.
It's 9, 10 months. So it's not just a vacation. You live here, you immerse yourself in the culture, the
Uh-huh.
people, the foods, the traditions, everything for that year or a few years. So if we're saying basketball wise, it wouldn't even be in Europe. I had the most fun playing basketball when I did my 1 year in the G League.
Oh.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun. It was just
Oh, that's a. Let's talk about that. I didn't expect that. When was that?
that was 3 years ago. I think it
You
was
took a break.
20. Yeah, man, I took a break.
Took a
I
sabbatical.
yeah,
Went to
yeah,
the
look,
gym.
little sabbatical. You know what I'm saying? But it was honestly, man, it was for me. It was like a breath of fresh air because that was the first time, not only professionally, but you got to think that was the first time playing competitively
In the
back in
States.
America since
As a
college.
pro. Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
feel that.
so,
I feel that.
so the dynamic of going back home and playing, there not being a language barrier, but then also just simple things like how you view
Hey,
basketball.
bro,
The
let me cut you off, bro, and I want
Go
to
ahead.
cut you off because that's when you started be acting different. I know that now. I realize that now. I
Yeah,
realize
man.
that now, bro. You
Yeah,
went to the G and you went back overseas. You started killing. I was watching you. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
he looking different. Like the way you was playing is different. You kind of
yeah.
tap back into the free, not the freestyle, but the freedom of your
Yep.
play. I noticed
Absolutely,
that.
man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was refreshing, bro. It was really refreshing. I mean, that's why I say it was the most fun I had playing basketball because I think if you ask a lot of professional hoopers, some of the best years of basketball, some will take it back to college.
Mm-hmm.
Some will say that was a great time depending on their experience. And for me, it was just that feeling of being back home, having that culture around basketball, that United States culture of basketball, and then also just being with a group of guys that wanted to compete. We were playing ones damn near every day after practice. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And that's not necessarily something that you get playing overseas. So
Never. Hey, bro,
in
I
terms of basketball,
never
I
done that
was
overseas, bro.
you feel me? So I would say that was my favorite. But in terms of the country that I lived in, I would honestly say Japan. Japan was amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, Japan was amazing, man. Amazing country, amazing people,
Ooh.
and just my time there. They treated you with they treat and anybody that you talk to that plays there, they treat the players with so much respect. They're endeared by the fans. They truly do embrace them, and they're very welcoming. And it's a real shift. It's really different than what you may experience in Europe, especially in times of turmoil, where even for me, my first team, I ended up getting cut,
Mm-hmm.
but I transitioned to another team. And even in that transition, the team that was releasing me treated me with so much
They were
respect.
cool.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not something that you find a lot of times in Europe or other countries. I've been on the bad side of that as well. So in terms of basketball, the G League, best country that I've played in, Japan.
Man, two things. So, the Olympics was in Japan.
Yep.
Bro, that was my first time ever in Japan. it was the cleanest place I've ever been.
Insane.
Bro, and it was COVID, so like nobody was on the streets. You already know how it is about the streets, but nobody,
Right.
it wasn't a piece of grass out of place, bro. The whole street was, I'm talking about, so clean. And then we would like drive, we would leave the village and go to practice, and we would stop like at a little gas station, bro.
Right.
Gas stations had the seat with the 18, all the buttons on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yup.
I'm like, dang, all the bathrooms and every place had that. I was like, y'all, this is really. And then they would have people like when you're walking to where you're going, they'd have a whole line of like people that were like this way, this way, this way,
Yep.
this way, this way, just guiding you. I'm like, dude at the door like this way. I'm like, I can see the door, fam. I see it's right. You don't gotta guide me to the door.
You don't get, I
You
need
know,
you, but I
but
appreciate
yeah,
it.
no, but it was so cool, bro. It was super cool. And then just to touch on the United States thing, like you go overseas for so long, and you're still hooping, but you kind of lose the freedom of playing the ones. Like you said, like you finish practice, there's not. You might have an American on your team, or maybe a European that might want to play ones, but usually it's not people that want to play ones like that.
You're not playing. I mean, bro, it was like where because another thing about the G is there's a lot of games. It's not the NBA, but I think including the showcase, you're probably playing around 50
That's a
some
lot of
games.
games.
So it's a lot of games. So with that being said, you're not practicing super crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for guys, if you're in a moment where you're not playing that much and y'all don't practice, hey, nah, we gonna run the runs. We
Yeah.
running the ones with 4 or 5 guys, bro. We run the ones for 45 minutes after practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Half court, a 3/4 court,
Yeah.
transition,
Mm-hmm.
like, or we'll run threes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just to your point of getting back to that freedom,
Mm-hmm.
because as you know, you get overseas and everything is about the team, the system. One way isn't wrong, one way isn't right. They're just two different types of basketball, right?
Yeah.
One is about the team, one is about the system, and you go to the States is you get a little bit more freedom, more things about the individual. So getting back to that, man, was it was like a breath of fresh air.
So why not the G again?
So I had
I
an
know, I think I know why, but I want to hear what you have to say.
yeah, for sure. So I had an opportunity to go back. I played in Salt Lake. I think I made a really good mark there. Bro, at 28, I was the oldest on the team, but
That's
uh,
crazy.
it was crazy, right? But really had a great time there. Made really good relationships, and the GM reached out to me and wanted me to come back, and I would have loved to go back. But as I was getting older, bro, I'm 28, turning 29. I'm like, man, I need to get back over the water and let me just run up this money as much as I can,
Ain't no, hey, bro, say it.
because
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
no,
That's
I mean that's the reality,
I know.
because as athletes, our careers are finite. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually, if you're lucky, 10 to 12, right? But if you're unlucky, or not even unlucky, but just more on average, you're probably getting 6 to 8, right?
Not even
Not even.
four to
I know some.
six.
Exactly, bro. And it's like, if you have the opportunity, if you're blessed with good health, if you're blessed with, other opportunities to use the game to further yourself, whether it be with relationships or whether it be financially or both, you have to take advantage, because I'm 31 now, bro. I know that, like, I'm for sure not playing till I'm 40.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? So you got to take advantage of the years
I,
where you're at your peak.
I talked to a lot of a lot of the guys I work with, and I talked to them about that too. Trying to go overseas or playing in the G, there's always that, and I think a lot of guys are just afraid to go overseas, and rightfully so, man. You don't know nothing about it.
Right.
For guys like us, we know about it. Like you
Right,
can
right.
make the decision. I'm gonna go. I know what it's like. I'm gonna go do that. But they've never lived that life, and also you had to struggle through the first couple years of learning that life. And not everybody wants to do that, and I don't blame them, man, because it is tough. Like
It's tough.
you got to be committed to do that.
Hey, man, I tell everybody, the thing about going overseas is you have to, first of all, you got to be okay with being alone, right? Because you're really you're going to be alone for a lot of the year. And every year isn't gonna be the same, man. Some years you gonna have teammates that you rock with. Some years you don't necessarily don't rock with them, but y'all just not hanging out. Maybe they got families, maybe X, Y, and Z. So you're spending a lot of time alone. And if you coming from the States, bro, again, where you guys that are coming from college, where you have a lot of camaraderie, bro. When you in college, you sometimes you have classes with your teammates, y'all go to practice, then afterwards y'all hanging out. So there's way more camaraderie that keeps you kind of grounded. But when you go overseas, you don't have that. You might go to a situation where it's only two Americans. Well, if the other American got a wife and kids, good luck, right? So I tell everyone going over there, you have to be okay with being alone and just I know you've preached it before too, is honestly just getting out. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure you get out and experience the culture and the country that you're in because, and I fell victim to this too, man. You stay in that little cubicle that is your apartment all year. Phew,
It's a
it can get real
dungeon.
tricky. That's when those thoughts of man, I just want to go home. Like
Bro.
it's tough, especially those first couple years.
Especially those first couple years. It's scary. Those first couple years scary. You just gotta weather them, man. You you gotta weather them. Talk about it though, man. That's one thing. So a lot of what I do is talking to athletes, whether that's athletes like yourself, younger athletes that are just coming up and trying to earn their way into Europe, guys trying to earn their way into college, and the height, whatever the case may be. A
Right,
lot of that is just talking to them about some of the things that are going to happen and learning how to control what they can control, right? So because a lot of
right.
the uncertainty, a lot of the role changes, a lot of dealing with different coaches, all those things come into play when we're trying to become a high level performer, whatever the case may be. So talk to us about some of the things like, is there a year that sticks out to you the most, that was the most difficult year for you? And kind of diving
Oh,
into why that was and what was going on that year. What year was that?
oh, oh man, that was honestly the I think it was it was the year before I went to the G. Was
Ah.
the hardest year for me overseas. I super extremely long story, but essentially I was dealing with some crazy stuff from the locals on my team. And outside of that, going through some personal things back home. So you factor that in with dealing with crazy things happening in the workplace. You're alone. Uh, Bro, I was so stressed out. I started to develop alopecia in my beard. I didn't even know
Really?
what it was at the time. Yeah, I didn't even know what it was. And so I was just struggling with the at that point I think I was 7 years in, and man, I was just tired. I was tired of going overseas. I was tired of leaving my family. My daughter was getting older. I was tired of leaving her. That weighs heavily on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was, and then you factor in the stuff that I was dealing with the team. I was tired of being in another country, just away from my family. I was tired of missing holidays. I'm stressed out because things are happening back home. On the court, everything looks great. Second leading scorer in Poland. Seems like everything's cool, but I'm dealing with so much stuff that it was like, I had to nut up, right? Like I was trying to deal with adversity by like essentially running through it. And that necessarily didn't work because, again, I developed alopecia that's strictly from stress. And what I found was, I needed to really just take a step back. And like you alluded to, was controlling what I could control. There are things back home that I cannot control. There are things about my situation with the team that I can't control. There are the attitudes and personalities of the teammates of some of the locals, or even some of the situations that they have going on with management and the coach. I can't control any of that, right? But what I can control is my habits every day, what I'm doing, how I'm regulating my nervous system on a day-to-day basis. how am I managing these stressful things that I'm dealing with? Am I doing breath work? Am I, practicing mindfulness? Any of those things, right? That's what I found after the fact. But by far, and I think that played a role into why the G League was so fun for me because I went through that. I was dealing with so much, and then I get to a point where I just go to and I just felt like I could hoop. I was out there, I just felt like I could hoop, bro. And I'm back. I'm back in the States, and it was just fun. You know what I'm saying?
So you the second leading scorer at this time. What did you finish like? How did you finish?
Yeah, I think I finished the
Top
league.
five.
No, I think I finished second. It was Jonah Matthews and then me.
And this whole time, it's crazy to me, man. How that it's like the bet your best season on paper,
Right,
and then your worst season.
bro. It was by far like it doesn't even compare. Easily the worst season for me off the
What were
court.
your days like though? Like, so was it? Did you when you were all hooping, everything was cool, but then you had to deal with a bunch of stuff at home. Then you go back. Like, were you able to disconnect? You know what I'm saying?
It didn't seem like I was able to disconnect, bro, because I was dealing like I was having stressful things happen at home. And then I was going to the workplace and I felt like I had stressful things happening there. And usually for me, and I think most, I'm sure for you too, basketball is like the safe haven, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm ever stressed out or something, I go to the gym, put some AirPods in, I put some shots up for an hour and some change. That's how I regulate my
Yeah, for
body
sure.
for shoot my whole life. And it felt as if I was going to practice and I was leaving to go to practice stressed. I was waking up stressed. And then I go to practice, I encounter more stress.
For sure.
And then I come back home and the weight of what's happening back home and what's happening at practice or just with the team in general, all compounded at the end of the day. Right. So it was never it didn't really seem like I was able to escape one or the other.
Mm-hmm. What did you? Were there things that you were doing that you had to stop doing, or things that you had to like? I'm thinking about it now, and when you look back on it, is there things that you had to start doing to kind of? I don't know what that would look like for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Nah, bro. I think probably maybe in November of that year, I started going to therapy.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, got into therapy, man. I was in therapy for probably 4 to 5 months, but it really, and to your point of being able to disconnect, the therapy was um, usually after practice, right? So it allowed me that space
To
to
reflect.
then exactly
Yeah.
reflect and give my body, my mind, and everything that like I just was able to disconnect from everything because I was going through that process of getting help, right? So, but prior to that, and then even while going to therapy, it's not like it was just it just fixed everything.
Right.
But it did help me manage everything that I was going through. You know what I'm saying?
And then on the court, because man, I say that, man, because all those things, like obviously, it affects how you show up on the court. It
Right.
affects your like how you're thinking about yourself, how you because man, when you're playing this game. Like I talk about leaving. So we talk about how you felt when you left the G and you felt like, man, you got your stuff back.
Right.
I was the same way when I went to the Olympics. We playing again, was playing USA, playing Italy, we playing all them guys. Man,
Right.
I went back to Spain. I'm like, I better watch out, man.
For real
You know
though.
what I'm saying? And that's how I felt when I went back. And so all of that plays into how you kind of view yourself
Hmm.
and approach your craft. And so when you're dealing with stuff at home or dealing with stuff here, like it's hard for people to lock in and disconnect whatever it is. It could be playing bad, it could be girlfriend, boyfriend, parents, coach, it could be in the stands, whatever it is, being able to disconnect and like, all right, focus on what are we trying to accomplish right now? Because at the end of the day, we're all here to try to increase our performance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Play better, whatever the case may be. So I just think that's so important for guys to be able to run through that stuff by themselves and figure out. I mean, like I said, after that you started hooping, and
Man, it
I'm
was
on the outside.
it was yeah, after that I got back to just enjoying hoop and like having fun again. But I think that is man, that is it's really profound and paramount for any athlete, shoot, any person, but just dealing with, the highs and lows of life. And you're in a high performing job, right? Like
Yeah.
you're expected to perform at a high level, is to have the self awareness of understanding when and finding tactics to regulate yourself. Because when you're going through, like it feels like it's kind of like no way out, or you're just in your mind about things, right?
Yeah.
Having the self awareness to find tactics, whatever it is, because everybody's tactics look different. But being able to regulate yourself, whether that's before practice, before a game, because like you said, we're all trying to, no matter what you're going through, we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. So what can I do to regulate myself so that way I can show up and be present in the best way possible? So that way my performance isn't affected, but also just how I'm perceived on the outside isn't affected.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things. I think that's huge. You know what I'm
It's
saying? And
huge.
that's tough for younger guys to grasp. But I think the sooner that you're able to have awareness about yourself and the ways in which you tick and how you operate and how to go about that, you become uh, a way better professional.
It's important for me to have guys like you on here because you're a high level. You're in one of the highest levels, and a lot of guys that'll be listening to you, whether they're pros that are in lower levels or college guys or high school guys, to understand like, man, everybody's dealing.
Yep.
Everybody's dealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're going through, but we've got to deal. You got to figure out a way to,
Got to figure it
you
out.
know what I mean? And so, like, what helped me was being able to hear, not only hear perspective, but I was around a lot of vets who kind of put me on game. And so, my
Right.
biggest thing is like having, I don't got all the game, having guys like yourself to come on here and share, like, man, this was tough. These are the
Right.
things that I did when I was going through it. Because now younger guys hear it, the high school guys hear it, and they're dealing with, coach got mad, and they're
Yeah.
dealing with and to them it's like it's the end of the world. I'm like, nah, you're good, man. They're like, oh, coach, I'm not starting anymore, and I'm like, that's fine, bro. Like, it's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I came off the bench before. You can come off the bench. It's okay. You can come off the bench.
Right.
And so like they'll have, and those things will just ruin them. Like
Right.
ruin the entire game, the entire, and I'm like, man, these are things you can use these opportunities to as learning opportunities, times to get better, and all those things. So don't allow your circumstances to slow you.
Absolutely. I say this well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but usually when I'm talking from this perspective, I mention this, bro. So to your point of, you can use certain scenarios as fuel rather than as allowing it to crush you, right? Allowing it to determine who you are, or allowing it to affect your self-talk. You can use it as fuel. When I was growing up, man, my older sister was by far a way better athlete than me, way better basketball player, way better everything. Everyone in my family knew it. My pops knew it, and he would say it, right. And for me, I took that to heart and used it as, yeah, I was upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, what I'm saying? It's not, nobody wants to hear that anyone is better than them, or that
Sure.
anyone thinks that, right?
Sure.
Naturally. But I took that as an opportunity to, all right, I'm gonna just continue to work at my game, and I'm gonna have this belief in myself, no matter what anybody says, that I'm gonna be better than her. I don't care if it's today, tomorrow, next week, or 2 weeks from now. And so then it went from being better than her, because then I started beating her at 1-on-1. She still ain't beat me. it started it started being better than her, to then being better than my counterparts, or
Mm-hmm.
people that I was compared to, or ranked against in high school. And then you take that a step further, and then it goes into college. So to your point of just like not allowing one circumstance to affect your self talk, but also just how you perceive yourself. Use that as an opportunity. Oh, I got benched. You know what? I'm gonna use this as an opportunity because I need to be better. I need to excel at this. Let me get so much better that he can't even bench me. And if he does, when I'm out there, I'm on another level. Like in my mind, I am, because of the work that I put in, the belief that I have in myself, I am going to supersede any thoughts or any ways in which you try to determine, the outcome of who I'm going to be as an athlete, because I put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I view myself will supersede the way you view me, and I'm going to showcase that through the work that I'm putting in.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And I just want to say, I sat here and let you say it, man, because I say the same thing to my guys all the time. Whether that's a college, like I'll take guys who say that they want to go play pro, guys that finish college. I'm like, all right, well, come work out with me. I'll go work out every
Right.
day. Come work. Guys can't show up on time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm like, well, then that's why you're not a pro.
Exactly.
And then I take it down to the high school guys. I'm like, same thing. Coach benched you. Cool, that's fine. You're not playing as much as you. That's also fine. There's something that you can be doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? And if you're not playing as much as you want to be playing, then there's surely something that you're not doing.
Right.
So then rather than like
Exactly.
go figure out what you need to do.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? Like, go figure out what you need to do, man. It really frustrates me because guys will just get discouraged, they'll get deterred, and they'll just take their ball and go home.
Right.
You know what I
I ain't
mean?
taking my ball and going
You know what I'm
home.
saying? Like if like coach benched them for one time, they'll take the ball and go home. Coach
Right.
yelled at him. It's like, oh, coach yelled at me. He hates me. He doesn't hate you. It's just part of the game. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they'll miss a shot, turn the ball over, and they can't play anymore. I'm like, this is part of the game. This is the game. If you
Right.
if you made every shot, then it wouldn't be much of a game, would it?
It wouldn't. I absolutely advocate for, and I really do credit this to a big part of my development was, even if it's not your pops or your parent, you know, if you're younger, let's say, I don't know, you're in high school, you're a freshman, so you 13, 14 years old. Find it if there's a hoop session near you at a LA Fitness, a 24-hour fitness where there are adults playing or something like that, go play against them. They will expose your weaknesses. They will expose your strength, all of those things, right? But when you're out there, you can't take your ball and go home. You gotta figure out a way to work through it. And again, that might not be today. Shoot, it might not be next week. It might not even be this year. But what's gonna happen is you keep going through it, going through the tests, going through the fire, compounding the work that you're putting in. And eventually, as long as you have that belief in yourself, you trust the work, and you are working diligently and with purpose, it'll manifest itself
Yeah.
because you are working and you have the experience and you're diligently going about it a way to make sure that what you're working on will show up whenever you're playing, whether that's in high school or whatever setting. But you got to face some adversity to get better. Nobody gets better in without facing adversity.
Thing number two, one of the first things that you said earlier when we started talking um, was that you've gotta be self-aware. Like
Hmm.
and this is for parents, and let's just so often, man, we're lying to our kids. We're not just lying. We're not helping our kids. We're
Yeah.
not telling them the truth. You know what I mean? So often, something happens on the court, happens with the coach, and the parent is taking the kid's side, and it's the parent. The coach did this, the coach did that. The coach is always right because it's his
Right.
team. You
It's
know,
his system. Yeah.
it's his system. You know what I'm saying? And so whether you agree with what he did or not, you can't say that my kid should be playing. Your kids,
Right.
you can't say that. And I try to be careful when using those shoulds and coulds because he's only gonna play if this guy allows him to play, and so or this gal, the coach. And so you got to be honest about like where you are, where you need work, what is happening that you're like where you're falling out at. That's
Right.
You've got to be honest about that, and then be able to do the work. But if you're not doing that, then it's going to be very hard for you. And I think that's probably I see that's where kids struggle a lot is just with the honesty part and being honest about their own work that they're putting in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm not in that space yet of dealing
Yeah,
with, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, like the kids and the parents, but
yeah.
I know many people and they talk about the very same things that you do. And
Pros as
I
well,
agree,
man.
man.
Pros as well.
Y-
Pros as well.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something for myself. Even for me, I had a even at the beginning of this conversation, man, when I was talking about did I envision myself playing 10 year XYZ, I was honest about where I saw myself based on what I was doing,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? You have to, and I'm not going to say that as if I've always been honest with myself, because a part of playing this long is being a little bit delusional. You
Mm-hmm.
got to be a little, you got to be a little bit delusional in your abilities. You have to believe in yourself
Yeah.
in a way that other people don't. But you also have to be honest with yourself and be honest. Listen, man, I know me. I am undersized forward and I'm not super athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell me? I need to work on skills. I need to be able to shoot. I need to be able to dribble. I need to be able to do a litany of things because physically, I just don't have what typically maybe teams, coaches, or other high level scout, whatever, are looking for. So I need to work on the things that can separate myself.
But that's okay.
Exactly. No, that's the point.
I know. That's
It's
what I'm saying. And
you know what I'm
not
saying? It's
but and that's okay.
yeah, and that's absolutely okay. It's nothing wrong with where I am as a player or who I am as a player. The only thing that's wrong is if you don't try to work, right? You don't take that truth about yourself and then work on the ways to make yourself better, make yourself an ideal, whether it's a basketball player, football player, whatever it is, athlete, person. It's that aspect of it. You got
Mm-hmm.
to be brutally and truthfully honest with yourself
Mm-hmm.
about who you are as a player. Since we're in the sports space, you got to be honest with yourself about that. And then you need to take that honesty and use it to um, arrange how you work, to arrange
Yeah.
and set up a plan for how you want to be better. Because if you're not honest with yourself, man, how can you, like, if you can't be honest with yourself and then work with it, what are you going to do when a coach is trying to be honest with you? To your point,
Argue.
I'm going to argue or I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
be honest with yourself.
And,
That's a
and
huge
and
aspect.
and so this is for my higher level, like my higher level pro guys, and it applies to the younger guys as well. And I tell guys this all the time. This is the game of basketball. What old man Kyrie say when he was dressed up? This game has always been about getting baskets. That's what it's been about. It's about getting
That's a
baskets.
that's a
You
fact.
know, you know, you never seen the games 0-0. It's about getting baskets.
Never.
And so like when I talk to my pro guys and what do I need to do to get better? I'm like, go get on a shooting machine. 45 minutes every day, threes only. Set the timer, set the gun up, 45 minutes. When the timer goes off, let the gun down, go home. You have to have, like, that was one of the best for me. I'm a 6'2". I was talking to somebody the other day. They said, how tall are you? I said, I'm with no shoes on, I'm like 6'1 3/4". He's like, you look I'm about 6'1 3/4 without shoes on. I'm a 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
6'2", 215. I'm stocky. And so
Yeah.
when I was in college, man, Coach Wade Mason, shout out Coach Wade. Coach Wade used to kill me every day. How you supposed to be a shooting guard? You can't shoot threes. He used to kill me every day. And
Right.
I had to eat that. I ate it, bro. And
Yeah.
like freshman year in college, I shot 5 threes. So, sophomore year in college, I shot 36. Junior year, 75. Senior year was 150. I had
Yeah.
to
That's
work on that.
improvement.
I had to work on that skill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
yeah, I had to work on that skill. I had to be honest with myself. How are you gonna go play in the NBA? You're 6'2", you can't make a three. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
And
Honestly.
that to me hit me so hard, bro. It hit me so. My dad used to make fun of me. I used to be overweight. My dad used to say, "You want to play basketball? You can't run. You can't run." He used to say, "Go
That's
outside,
real rap.
go outside and run." And I'm like, "You're right." I used to be so upset. But I can't tell myself that I want to be a professional athlete and then not do what it takes to be a professional athlete.
Absolutely,
You know what I
man.
mean?
That's powerful. Even same thing. I didn't shoot 100-something threes. I wasn't shooting 100-something threes in college, but I will say, again, bro. I went into college. I always had good touch with the basketball, but didn't shoot threes going into college. Really, just shot kind of like mid ranges. Right, different. It was different time, but I had to work because that awareness about myself, um, of understanding, okay, you're undersized, you're not the most athletic. What's gonna set you apart, but also what's gonna keep you on the floor? I got to be able to space the floor. I got to be able to shoot. And I really do think that that is a crucial part into the longevity of my career. Because if I was the player that I was in college, there's no way I would be sitting across from you right now on this screen having played 10 years professionally. Not a
Hey,
chance.
bro, your game has improved since I seen you like not too long ago. A couple years ago.
And you know what? I tell people, I've had to adapt and change my game 3 times. When I came out of college, I was mostly back to the basket. Although I felt like I could face up and dribble the ball, that just wasn't what I did.
Yeah.
When my first year, first couple games, that back to the basket stuff wasn't working. I said, "Oh, I gotta figure this out."
Yeah.
It wasn't working, bro.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh no, these are grown men. Like they don't look strong, but they kind of strong." Okay, I had to figure it out. So I had to change my game. And then I went through another evolution of changing my game, even when I got to the G, where it was like, okay, you got to be able to shoot threes and play off catch and rips. Sometimes you're going to post up, but a lot of your stuff is going to be in space, bro. How are you going to operate in space? And there's more space here. Boom. So I had to change my game there. And then after that, I go to this is when I went to Japan, and I go to a situation in a scenario where I had to be the primary ball handler. Never done that before in my life. Not saying it's something that's like a staple of my game,
Yeah.
but I had to adjust on the fly. Because if I wanted to get buckets, if I wanted to be a valuable player, especially in that scenario, if my teammates couldn't get me the ball, what was I supposed to do? Just not get the ball.
Exactly.
So I've had to adapt 3 different times within my career out of self-preservation. And so it's like fight or flight, man. You know, whether you a high-level pro, whether you're aspiring pro, aspiring to play in college, you have to have a level of like fight or flight, because if this is something that you really want to do, it really is. It's like, I mean, it's win or go home. It's produce or go home. If you don't produce, you going home, bro. If you don't produce, you're not getting that scholarship.
You going
If you don't
home,
produce,
bro.
you not, bro. You go home, Roger.
You
Like
going
you are
home.
going home. So you have to have, that thought process of just
Yeah.
like, how can I preserve myself in this space, and how can I be honest with myself about my skills, and what can I do to improve so that way I can continue to stay in this space for as long as I'd like to stay.
Man, we're gonna end there, bro. Cause my last question was I wanted to know your main takeaway. Like, what is your main takeaway from all this? And I don't think you could have said it any better than that.
That was the biggest takeaway, man.
Yeah.
Is like, um, how can I preserve what I wanted? Because again, for even for yourself, bro. I know not playing right now, but I saw the previous clip that you were talking about. Still having the itch to play,
Oh
still
yeah.
loving to play,
Oh
still
yeah.
want, like that's like you love it because you grew up. This is something that you do, and
Yeah.
again, you have that feeling of like it's fight or flight. This is something that I really love. I've really invested blood, sweat, tears, thousands of hours of my life into this. I love this, and if you really love it, you love everything that comes with it. The highs, the lows, the BS. You love it all. But at the end of the day, if you want to continue to do something that you love, you have to self-preserve. You have to figure out ways to be valuable, to seem valuable in whatever way or manner. If you're a 6'7" wiry athlete, hey bro, you get a couple old boys a game, they looking at you like, oh wow, you getting some slashes, you hitting a 3 or 2. Self-preservation, and that's not even, you don't even have to put up a bunch of points.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a small guard, but you go to Europe where they are strict about assists.
Yeah.
You go to Europe and you getting 6, 7 assists, and you making a couple threes on. That's how you preserve.
Yeah.
And you're picking up full court.
Yeah.
That's how you preserve.
Oh, you talking about preserving your value? Okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. It's like the as athletes, you gotta preserve your value as a player or even as a coach. Anything you have to preserve, and part of that preservation is having, like you said, those honest conversations with yourself and being real. Because if this is something that you really want to do, there's gonna be BS that comes with it. But also, there are thousands of people that want what you have,
Mm-hmm.
that want the spot that you have, bro, there's thousands of guys that would love to be in my scenario now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to think about that.
I'm one of them.
I have to be mindful of that. I have to. And so I think that was my biggest takeaway of my 10-year career so far, is like, what can I do for self-preservation? And whether that's being a great teammate, whether that's being a slashing forward, whether that's just putting the ball in the hole as many times as possible, because that's what the game entails. Whatever it is for you, figure it out. But, if you really love basketball, if you really love any sport, and that's something you truly want to do, figure out how you can preserve your value.
Dang, bro. That message hits home for me, man, because I just think about like all the athletes that I deal with every day. And when I hear that, I think like, how can you be valuable to your team? Like, what can you do for your team? Not how,
Yeah.
not how can I play more minutes? Not how can
Right.
I score more points? Not those questions, but how can I just provide value? So
Right.
so they have to play me. Because everybody
100%.
wants to score more and put up more numbers. Well, you need to play more.
Hey, you got to be on the
You
court
got to
first.
be on the court. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be on the court. And so figure out how to first score. You don't have to just be on the court. You don't need to get your
Exactly.
numbers up. You need to play more minutes. And then we can figure out how to steal you a couple assists, a couple baskets. Then we can figure that out.
Right.
Preserve your value. I like that.
Got to, man. It's key.
Stacy, I appreciate you, man. This
I
was a
already
dope.
know,
This was a
brother.
dope pod. This was a dope pod, man. One of my recent favorites, man. We've been working with a different style, man. A few different topics, and trying to just extract some value from our listeners.
Yeah.
Be more pointed, man. But you came on here and you didn't disappoint, my brother. So I appreciate
I
you,
appreciate
man.
it, man. I'm glad. Hey, listen, I'm glad I could provide value, bro.
Yes. Hey, bro, that's great, man, because that message is like, that's the message.
Yeah.
Be valuable, hold your value. Like, that's the message.
Yeah. Hey, man, and that applies sports or in life. You know it. You know
Yeah,
it, bro.
yeah,
In the space that you're in now,
yeah,
you are so successful
yeah,
because you provide immense value to these kids, to these parents,
yeah.
because of your experience, because of what you're preaching, how you're organizing things.
Yeah.
That's extremely valuable. So that's a lesson that isn't just for athletes or your aspirations as an athlete. That's for life. Provide value, and you'll see how, what you're aspiring to is attainable.
We gotta have him back. Stacy, I appreciate you, brother. Hey, man.
I already know, my
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. It's been a blessing, man. I wish you the best in your season and what you got going on for the end of the year, man. And hope
I
we're
appreciate
gonna
it,
stay in
brother.
contact.
Yeah, man. Let me know. Let me know if you want me back on. This was a pleasure for me. So just let me know.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you, bro.